up, everyone? Welcome to Parked Podcast, presented by DGA. I'm Mitch Phillips, and joining me is Zach Harrison. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the LWS Open at Idlewild, where Joey Buckets finally won his first Pro Tour event. Owen took it down over somewhat of a wounded field in the FPO. And later on, Team DGA member Andrew Miranda is joining us for an interview. And we still got to talk about Worlds next week. Zach, it's going to be a long episode. Buckle in. What are you sipping on? Because we're going to need to drink something to make it through.
Dude, I ramped it up this week.
Ooh.
This is a glass of something special.
Yeah, it is.
This is actually pretty cool. A client of mine, we were talking, and he's like, "You're a really cool guy. I want to send you something." And this is a bottle of Blanton's single barrel whiskey.
Did he say it like that? Like, "You're a cool guy. Here's whiskey."
Yeah. No, he like shipped it in the mail. There's a local store you can get him to bring it, like a Uber Eats, Uber drinks.
Sweet.
And it's probably the easiest drinking bourbon I have ever had.
Yeah, Blanton's is good stuff. All my family in Kentucky, man. It's bourbon and old people. That's all that's there. And good disc golf, apparently, which I've never been, but I think Cincinnati, doesn't Cincinnati like claim this? It's like kind of in Kentucky. Like Kentucky can say they have a Pro Tour event, but like, is it Kentucky? I don't know. Sorry if you live that area and you're Kentuckian. But anyway, I'm drinking on a seasonal release from Reformation Brewery here in Georgia. It is called Clarity Lager, but it is for a charity. It's a partnership they do. I believe this is the third or fourth year they've done it with a group called the Shepherd's Men that works with veterans. And so it is a really great brewery. It's a local veterans advocacy group. And it's at all of their locations, kind of a special thing they do. And it is a easy drinking rice lager with what is the hop? Lemon drop hops. So it's got a sweetness to it. It's got some bitterness, and it's a rice lager, so it's super light. So it's that sub 5%, right at 4.9. It's really good. One of my favorite styles of beer. Surprised me a lot at the brewery. One of my favorite beers I tried there, I haven't been there in a while. They had a honeydew Kolsch, which I was stoked about. Super refreshing, nice and light, but they weren't canning it, so couldn't bring it home. But heading into Idlewild, this tournament was probably the most fun elite series we've watched in a while. And what a finish. What a freaking good day to be a Georgian. We had all the Georgia boys in the top making a run for it. Isaac was going to win it. Then Ezra was going to win it. And then freaking Joey Buckets take it down. So talk us through how Joey Buckets finally won his first Pro Tour event after being at the top so many times. I feel like he's been on so many league cards.
So honestly, man, it's at the end of the day, it was his consistency that kind of kept him in the game. We'll talk about it. I mean, Isaac had it. Like, there's no reason statistically that Isaac should have lost, right? It was just the final round that kind of screwed him. But Joey didn't have a single single double bogey on the entire round, the entire tournament. Only 3 bogeys on the tournament. And really just like played pretty consistent. His C1X putting, he only missed 2. The whole tournament. hit 5 C2 putts, so just that consistency, landing on the fairway. His scramble percentage was really high. It was 73% scramble. So like really, if he was off, he was getting back and he was getting par or better. And at the end of it all, we'll talk about it, Isaac just couldn't hang on, man.
No, and I think Joey Buckets had all of also to confirm, Joey Bucket hats are coming, and I am definitely getting one. I know you are too. It's going to be great. Yes. But he had the 3 things that you needed to win Idlewild: a great scramble rate, consistency with the backhand and the forehand, and never won it before, because there has not been a repeat winner here in 8 years. And 5 times we've had first-time winners here. So, I mean, this place is where you go to win your first tournament. And this is also a place where you kick off a career. Gannon Burr got his first win here. Isaac Robinson got his first win here.
James Conrad.
You're right. I mean, the list of people who have gotten their first win here is ridiculous. Will this catapult Joey into consistency and confidence? I mean, maybe. We're heading into a course that I think he could probably play pretty dang well with New London. I don't know a lot about Ivy Hill, but we'll talk about that in the preview later on, so stick around. But yeah, I think the consistency is what mattered. It was the circle's edge putts with Joey, and I actually got to warm up putting with him. I played with him at the Crucible in Athens earlier this year. and had an opportunity to warm up putting, and just his stroke is so clean. There's not a lot of movement to it. We were standing right next to each other chatting putting, and like it's not anything crazy. It doesn't have a lot of pace. It's just consistent. And I think that's what it takes, especially on these dynamic disc baskets that everyone is kind of iffy on. And we did see some pretty bad spit outs from Isaac spin putt. We did see Gavin Phillips chain out dead center on what I forget what hole that is, the raised basket one. I mean, to see a Phillips on the screen felt really good. My last name on the screen felt pretty cool. So I was like, man, what if? But the Robinson brothers making a freaking charge, it was so painful watching Isaac holes 13 through 15. Some of the most first leading up to that, the amount of chances. Did you see the shank he had? Complete shank. Left side and pured everything. It was at the M1. And you were just like, I'm sorry, what?
Right back into the fairway and everything.
Yeah, there's no way that should have gone in. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, he had some good breaks along the way. But, man, to go, he did not par holes 10 to 18. He went triple bogey, bogey, double bogey, eagle.
Birdie after to close it. So here's another stat that threw me for those 3 holes. I mean, hole 13 obviously was the start of it all. That was his first blemish on the whole round.
Yeah.
He only had 3 OB strokes the entire tournament, and 2 of them were on hole 13 in the final round of the event. So it's like when the pressure came down to it, he just couldn't get it back in the fairway, and then took the second bogey and then the double. And luckily he was able to turn it around, but he looked defeated, right? You started seeing him. He punched himself in the head.
Dude, I saw that. Like,
sat down on the log. It looked very much like I'm defeated. And my hope was that his caddy would kind of talk to him about it and get him back, which apparently he did. Hole 16, 17, 18 looked great.
Who was his caddy?
I don't know. I think it was just a friend of his.
Okay. His dad usually goes up there for those. I know he was there when he won his first and stuff too, and he's up there, but I don't know if he did. But yeah, the mental game, I think, was surprising. I think there's frustration consistently knowing that, like, one, he's starting to lose to his older brother or younger brother, who's, definitely making a charge. We'll talk about Ezra in a second. Yeah. But I think the expectation after winning 2 majors last year and just like letting himself down over and over again this year is getting to him.
I agree because he was first in birdie percentage, 59%, first in fairway hits, first in C1 regulation, second in C2 in regulation, third in parked.
Yeah.
So, and then second in tee to green, strokes tee to green. So even with the blemishes, like he's leading in so many fields that statistically he should be closing the tournament.
He should win.
He should absolutely be winning. But then you look at his putting and C1X putting, which usually he's money, 83%. He missed 2 circle 1 putts every round.
Yeah. I mean, hole 15 was an idiotic kick out.
That was bad. That was bad.
And his putt, it's so much pace. It's so spinny, but it's painful. It's painful.
Well, then we usually see him close the deal from circle 2, right? He was second in circle 2 in regulation, but only made 1 out of 9 circle 2 putts. 1 out of 9 just isn't going to cut it, man, especially when you're not 100% C1X. Like, it's just never going to get you there. So everything except the putt, which is so ironic because he's so well known for having the cleanest, most consistent putt, and something wasn't there.
Yeah. And whose putt was there was his brother, because down the stretch, my God, his putting was huge. His average putting was 17 feet. I mean, he was pushing, like, he sat circle's edge for the first 3 holes and then circle's edge through the back holes as well. And I think combining the touch of a Robinson, like the Woods putter level skill that they have. I mean, honestly, from growing up in Georgia, but I mean, at round 2, Ezra had 100% C1X putting, and round 3, he missed 1 out of 14. I mean, truly, the putting was a huge thing. And heading into Worlds, you take the Robinson game and you put power behind it. Ezra's looking good, and he's heating up.
Ezra, man.
His third, second place on the tour. Wow. And they've all been so close down the stretch, and he's clutched up down the stretch every time. He has truly clutched up, except in Portland, where he set himself up with like a 60-footer in a raised basket. But other than that, I mean, he's finishing these second place pushes with 4, 5, 6 straight birdies to finish out the tournament. And it's so close for Ezra.
The only thing that I see, like his putt is super clean. There's this thing that he does where he leans too far forward and you see his chest actually like
Yep.
go toward the ground and he always hits cage. And
Mhm.
once he lets go of it, he knows that he's missed it.
Immediate.
And you see him, it almost looks like he's about to pick up his disc as he's putting.
Mm.
It's really weird. And that's when he screws it up. But otherwise, dude, it's so clutch.
Yeah.
And like you said, the finish that he had when he saw that Isaac was messing up on 13, he
Mhm.
immediately turned it up because he
Yeah.
knew that all it takes was Joey to make a single mistake.
Right. I mean, he
And
had the
then they're
hot round. He
tied.
shot 11 under, but I mean, not to be forgotten about with Joseph Anderson, and I mean Kyle Klein as well at 10 under. I mean,
Mm.
jumping up the leaderboard. But let's move on to Calvin Heimberg, who's heating up at the right time. He's had this slow season. It's not. There was some questionable moments in the last couple weeks, but man, he looked clean and he looked mean, and he's ready for Worlds. I can definitely say that if there's one player that's ready for Worlds, it's Calvin Heimberg.
I agree. He had a really slow start to the season. And when you said he's clean and he's mean, it's facts. He had
Mhm.
2 bogeys the
Yeah.
entire tournament.
God.
0 double bogeys, only 1 out of bounds. And he was first in C2 in regulation and first in tee to green. So he's getting to the basket. And you
Yep.
know how he is when he gets his putt hot, it's so consistent from all over the circle
Yep.
and beyond. I don't know how he generates so much
And it's
power.
so safe compared to the other guys we're
Yeah.
talking about with Ezra and Isaac who putt so hard. He has
Yes.
such a safe putt.
The up and down.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so he has tons of momentum.
Yep.
Tons of momentum. And I love it because, like I said, he started off really slow.
Mhm.
Um, it seemed like he was battling an injury. He couldn't throw the forehand for forever, right?
Mhm.
And he just started throwing it again, actually made some killer forehand
He did.
shots this weekend. I'm excited for it, man. I think a lot of people are picking up steam, even some like really unexpected names,
Yep.
but
Moving down leaderboard too before we get to FPO. Emerson Keith, he had a great time in Des Moines Challenge, and I was there watching his game. There's a lot of confidence being him back with Innova, and just pushing. Tied for 4th here. He had some really great rounds. His putting is definitely heating up too. That circle 2,
yeah,
just consistency. I feel like, as hard as that is to say, he's hitting 1 to 2 to 3 of them around and making it happen. And let's shout out Andrew Marweed as well.
yes,
Man,
yes.
perfect putting in round 3, missed 1 putt round 2, and
Yep.
perfect putting in round 1. I mean, he's the best putter in the world. We've known this, but the fact that he literally missed 1 circle 1 putt all weekend is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, consider it like what we're going to in Worlds
Mhm.
is woods and open, and
Yep.
you need to
We're gonna
be
see
able to
his name
shot
up there.
shape. His name is going to be climbing, right? He might be
Yep.
a sneaky choice for
Yeah.
top 3 podium out
Yeah.
there. Also, Garrett Gerthy out here on the leaderboard
Dude,
in number 7. Where did he come from?
I
I
don't know.
It's like when his putt is landing, it's great, but he has such a severe hyzer putt that I
Mhm.
think windy courses get him. I think anywhere where bad rollaways happen can kind of get him.
Yeah, but this is in the
Um,
woods. This is Garrett Gerthy, who's always known for his distance. You
True.
put him at Worlds, and if he's heating up and can find some consistency, he can shape lines with disgusting backhand rock shots, and then he can also just destroy open courses. So, I mean, maybe we'll see a Garrett Gerthy top 5. I don't know. We'll talk about it all here when we get into the Worlds preview. Let's jump over to FPO here. Owen
Yeah.
Scoggins takes it down with, like I said, somewhat of a wounded field. It felt like not a lot of top players, no Europeans over here yet, other than Lucky Lawrenson. So definitely yeah, it's a win, but it's definitely with an asterisk. But she did average 992 over her
Yes.
rating. I mean, winning by 4 over Natalie Ryan, who, I mean, Natalie definitely made a push. It was really great to see her game come online. And Natalie's the player too when she gets going on the putting, but the
Mhm.
driving has always been kind of iffy, I feel like, but her putt from distance is good. And at this course for Own makes total sense for her to win it. I think she
Yeah.
still would have been in competition. It would have been a little closer. I think she maybe even shot better. She kind of knew she could cruise a little bit in that final round. But I mean, Owen takes it down.
It was interesting because the issue for Own was putting this weekend.
Mhm.
67% from circle 1 and 36 from circle 2. So she still had her circle 2 putts, but it was the
Yep.
C1 putting that kind of dragged her down. Meanwhile, number 1 in birdie percentage, number 1 in fewest bogeys, number 1 in regulation for C2 and C1. So it's like getting to
Yep.
the green is not an issue for Own,
Not at all.
which is crazy because she doesn't have the distance that a lot of these ladies do.
Right.
And then
And
she
that,
struggles
yeah.
on the green, but still wins. So I thought it was really interesting
Yeah.
because it was a complete
Yeah.
reversal in my brain for how Own
Mhm.
wins tournaments, you know?
Yeah, usually she's hot from circle 2 or that circle's
Exactly.
edge, and this is a course where, like, I feel like a lot of those looks are circle's edge, circle 2, because it's
Mhm.
hard to actually reach the circle with the way the fairways are shaped, and what I've
Yeah.
heard and seen from a little bit of New London, it's very similar. A name that out of nowhere with a great final round, Sarah Hokom. I mean, podium finish,
Yeah.
shoots the 5 under, 1,000 rated final round, and
Huge.
I mean, yeah, welcome back. I mean, it's
I
been a while since we've seen that name in the top 5.
So it's really cool because I mean, you guys saw how hard it is to shape some of the lines out there, and
Mhm.
Sarah's primarily throwing only forehands.
Yep.
And in that final round, she only missed 2 fairways.
Wow.
So she is shaping beautiful shots
Mhm.
and getting herself looks and really capitalizing. She didn't
Yeah.
she only had 2 bogeys in that final round. Didn't take a double bogey, didn't go out of bounds. This was just clean golf, right? Which I think what we're learning now in FPO is if you play clean,
Mhm.
you will start rising to the top, right?
Yep.
Most of the field is actually dropping down just because they're losing strokes on their own. So
Right.
as long as you're not going down, you're actually going up, which is really
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, and I think something that's definitely consistent in the FPO field is the putting. It's why Owen's usually at the top. It's why Kristen's usually up there. It's why we
Mhm.
see the putting matter. Either you're killing it or you're not. You see Evelina and Henna towards the top, but their putting can back and forth. It comes down to putting in the FPO
Yeah,
field. I feel like there's not anyone that's like, oh my gosh, their distance makes a difference. Yes, there's
right.
players in the FPO field that can throw way further than others, but I don't feel like it matters as much. I don't know if that's course design. I don't know what it is, but putting is definitely like the great equalizer in the FPO field for sure. Let's talk about Madison Walker. Ended up having a great tournament. She played great here last year.
Mhm.
Hits a top 5 finish coming in here, and I mean, it's great to see her playing well. I mean, I think it's just fun when you have a personality of the sport that's doing commentary that's so well known. It's just better for the sport when you see Germ and Yuli and Sex and these guys that are so well known. When you see them playing better, it's better for the sport. It attracts more eyes to it. And Madison, just not many better people out there on tour to be able to do that. And see her in the top 5 was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, just playing more clean golf, only 2
Mhm.
OBs on the tournament. Kind of struggled on the putting greens, had some unfortunate yanks. We saw it on one of the island holes where she had a decent putt for birdie and really just, I mean, it was pulled, right? Doesn't
Mhm.
touch any metal and it was only 15 feet or so. So
Yeah.
there's still a couple of things that are rocky for her, but again, mostly clean golf. And
Yep.
that's climbing, especially on these wooded courses. It's easier said than done, but that's what gets you to the top.
Yeah, I mean, even shooting even was
Mhm.
moving. Deanne Carey makes a lead card appearance in the second round. Good friend of the podcast. She ended up, having not the greatest round in the final round to be able to fall off of it, but being able to be in that lead card position, she jumped a spot by just shooting even. And I
Yep.
mean, that's what it can take is just playing that clean, consistent golf. And man, I think I like that Idlewild falls in this spot because I think it gives confidence to players heading into Worlds. And I feel
Mhm.
like as much as the schedule and all the stuff and people going, there's nothing on the West Coast, blah blah. We're leaving out stuff, and the tour schedule is kind of weird this year. As much as we are in the thick of it of back to back and majors and huge tournaments and travel, Idlewild feels good in this
Mhm.
spot because it gives confidence to players that maybe usually aren't at the top to head into Worlds. And I think it stat checks a lot of just really simple park style golf of like if you can throw really clean up shots, if you can hit your circle's edge putts, you can play any course. And Idlewild definitely provides that. It almost feels like the most like park style course that we play on tour where it's a course that I feel like any of us could go play and be like, okay, like this is doable compared to some
Mhm.
courses on tour where it's like, nah, there's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a good mix, right? The
Mhm.
course itself is a variety of shots. It's a variety of fairway shape.
Mhm.
We a lot of the time find the tour on just woods or just ball golf or whatever it is, but this really does shape it up, and I think that's why there are 8 different winners over the course of 8 years, because
Mhm.
at any given time, someone can shoot just a hot round and take over. It's not necessarily geared toward one type of game.
Yep. That's it's definitely true. I think another player too, I mean, seeing Emily Weatherman at the top after round 1, I was like, oh, it's happening again. It's gonna happen.
I wanted it so bad, man.
Oh, I did too, man. And it's not too far off of a course from Des Moines. It's a similar vibe with a good mix and some open and some long holes. Ended up having just a tough second round of +9.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
just
4
out of nowhere.
OBs, missing 5 C1X putts. Like really, that the middle of her round, you saw how heavy it was on her. She was wearing it and like trying really hard to power through it. But after she hit a quad bogey on hole 8 and a double bogey on hole 9, she really started to feel it because she was trying so hard to just keep clawing. But she's watching Owen and watching Rebecca Cox like actually shoot hot rounds. Owen Scoggins ended up eagling hole 8 that same round. So it's like the disparity in those specific holes, she's just feeling like she's getting swallowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think as we close it out, I think we've said it already, but to finish out Idlewild and wrap it up, I think this tournament is so interesting because it gives confidence, like I said, to players you don't usually see it. But also we see players go, man, I can play this style course. I'll go to the top. And then the pressure sets in. I'm on lead card. Oh, crap. How do I deal with this?
There's so much teeth out there, too.
It is. It really is. And it can bite you quickly. So we're going to jump to a break here. When we return, Andrew Miranda will be joining us at Team DGA, the freaking European Open superstar. We are rooting for him. Multiple league card appearances, crazy series of events. Looking forward to chat with him. You're listening to the Park Podcast. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Joining us now is Andrew Miranda of Team DGA. Dude, how are you? Where are you at? What's going on, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I'm pretty excited. Grateful to be here, but yeah, I'm at home right now. Just got a little bit of a break before I head out to Worlds, but it's definitely good to be back at home for a little bit.
You gonna hang with any homies, play the local course?
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of a elbow injury that I'm kind of nursing right now, so I'm gonna try not to play a ton this week, but definitely like catching up with all the boys while I'm here. Going out to a friend's house tonight, go hang out and try to soak that up as much as I can. I'll get to do that as much as I wish I could anymore. But
I mean, being home, I mean, let's just jump into it here. You just graduated high school, so obviously you have your homies you've been going to grade school with for so long. Zach and I are old and have been out of high school for a decade plus now. But what's it like to be a touring disc golfer as a pro and in high school now? Not like, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely has its pros and cons for sure. Like, obviously, it's like this sport has given me so many of the coolest opportunities. Like, who at 18 years old gets to travel to Europe and like it doesn't even like it felt almost like normal. Like that's just insane to me at this point. But yeah, so it's definitely like I didn't get to do in-person school for junior and senior year. It just didn't work out with how much I was gone. Like I think I tried the beginning of junior year and missed over half the school days in the first semester.
Oh man.
So that didn't, they were like, yeah, this is not going to work. So
were you getting schoolwork done or you're just like, yeah, it'll get done. It'll be fine.
No, I was getting it done. I was like keeping my grades, but my attendance was just like through the roof horrible. So
which proves that you cannot show up and still get good grades. All right.
Yeah, no, I was still getting my assignments and doing all my stuff, but like I missed the social aspect and like the routine of being able to go to school every day. And obviously like there's some days I don't miss going to school and sitting there for 7 hours, but just seeing everybody at school every day and having teachers, and it's definitely something I miss a little bit. And it was definitely like that was probably the biggest sacrifice, and just being gone like a month at a time and all my friends are still at home hanging out. I've made new friends on tour, so like nothing against those guys. It's just like it's a little different. That's definitely the tougher part of it, just being away.
Has it been tough with food? I love food. We talk about food a lot here, especially people on tour. How has that been? Because I mean, I didn't start cooking till I was like junior, senior year in high school. I don't know where you're at on that spectrum, like what you like or what you dislike. So how has it been?
It's been pretty solid. I eat the same thing pretty much every day, so it's pretty easy. So I always cook all my stuff. When I'm on tour,
Nice.
I'll probably eat out like once a week, just when everybody
Nice.
else is going out.
What's the go-to meal? What's Chef Miranda cooking up?
So for breakfast, I'll have like 5 or 6 eggs with a bagel.
That's a lot of
And
eggs.
then
Dang, son.
I usually don't eat lunch because I'll eat breakfast at like 10 and I'll just eat
Okay.
like a protein bar or something.
Yep.
And then dinner in Europe, I was eating raviolis a ton. They were like the best thing ever there, and they were like
That's so
$1 for this huge pack.
The Finnish ravioli. I did not know that was
Yeah,
a
no, they're
thing.
super good. But I'll do like a pasta and shrimp
Yeah.
is like definitely a go-to.
Nice. Cool.
Pot stickers and orange chicken. The Trader Joe's orange chicken's pretty good.
Dude,
You can never go wrong
slaps.
with Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
any of that frozen stuff is
So
incredible.
freaking good. So good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
All
love
right,
that.
so you're eating pretty well then. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We-
it's definitely.
Yeah.
I was out during the Texas swing this year. I was with Drew Gibson in his RV, and we tried not to cook a ton because we were just the propane was just like evaporating. So
Oh yeah.
we're doing like a lot of frozen meals and stuff, which kind of sucked. But Uncrustables, and we weren't eating
All
as
right,
good.
come on, Drew.
But
Drew Gibson needs to step it up. We're not doing Uncrustables. You've been on tour for 10 years. You should know what you're doing. Goodness.
now you put them in the little toaster oven,
Okay.
and they get a
yeah.
little bit crispy and like melted.
Okay.
So
That
good.
is where it's
All
at.
We'll let it slide. Well, speaking of tour, so you had the Texas swing, and then you had to skip Beaver State fling to graduate to walk. What was that
Yeah.
like to be like, I have to come back and miss a tournament just to walk across a dang stage?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I had a fun time, and we had grad night too. We went down to Disneyland, so that was
sweet.
fun. But like, I felt like I was definitely finding my stride out on tour for the first time because, like, first half of Texas swing did not play very well. Cashed at Texas States, and then got 26th at OTB, which is my best finish.
Yeah.
Didn't play super well at Cascade, but then made the cut and was like up there pretty decent for most of Portland Open. So then to be like, all right, now I have to just fly home, especially being in Portland, and the tournament is literally like everyone I stayed with was just staying in the same house is like such a bummer. But I honestly contemplated because I was driving home. I drove home on Monday, and then like I do my graduate on Thursday, and then flying back on Thursday night and play blind on Friday. But
Oh wow.
it probably would not have worked out well.
Just tee off on hole 1 with the grad cap on, like, I did it.
Throw it when you're done.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So what does tour look like for you in the future? Are you committing to the rest of the season? Are you already thinking about next year now that high school's out of the way? What's it look like?
So I'm more thinking about next year right now. So I actually just started college yesterday. I'm doing some online classes through a community college that's by my house.
Nice.
It's called Questa, and they have this thing called the Questa Promise, where if you live in the county and you apply, like pretty much everybody gets in. You get a free 2 years.
Wow.
So I'm just doing that to get some general ed classes done.
Dude, that's
I don't really
so
have any
smart.
plan with that,
So
but
smart.
it's free, so I might as well get them done.
Yep.
But then I'm heading out to Worlds, and then I'll be at USCGC this year.
Nice.
And then next year I am committing I'm like 90% sure for I'm not going to chess, but then I'll play everything from Waco to Beaver. So like that.
Wow.
Pretty much the first like 3 months of tour. So
nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
that's the plan as of now. Could
Do you
change slightly, but for sure Texas swing, for sure West Coast swing, but like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stay out and play the like Champions Cup, Jonesboro, those ones. So
Sweet.
Heck yeah, man. What are you riding around in, or what will you be next year?
Yeah, so right now I have a Subaru WRX.
Wow.
So I love that car so much, and it's
gonna
be tough because I haven't decided what vehicle I'm gonna be in next year.
Yeah.
I want to keep doing it in the Subaru. I just hit 100,000 miles, so I'm kind of like debating if it's worth because WRXs aren't the most reliable car. Everybody knows that. So
But they're
I don't
fun to
really
drive,
want to.
though. That's the
Oh,
thing.
it's the best. Yeah, it's the best. So I'm trying to figure out if it's gonna be worth it to take it. But
Yeah.
I'd
Or get like an
really
RV and
like
like
it.
tow it or something like that.
If I don't, because I'll do Airbnbs. I've been staying with like Silas and Ty Love and those
Nice.
guys. So
Nice.
Brandon,
Good-
so they
good
get
crew.
just Airbnbs and split it, and it comes out pretty cheap. So and then
Yeah.
I don't have to haul around a big vehicle. So
Mhm.
if I get something else, I'd probably get like a Tacoma or a 4Runner or something.
Yeah,
Just drive
some
that.
easier to
So
like keep some materials in the
a
back of
little
the
bit
truck.
more storage. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
So, but for
Very
now,
nice,
I'm
man.
gonna try to rock the Subaru as long as I
Yep.
can.
Nice. Heck yeah.
So
Well, let's jump to the beginning of how you got into disc golf. I mean, looking at PDGA and stuff, like you haven't been playing for that long, at least tournaments wise. It's only been a couple of years, been 5-6 years now. How did you originally get into disc golf? Because I mean, you're what, 18 now? So I mean,
Yeah.
you started playing right when you became a teenager, right around that time, getting tournaments in. What's it been like to now fast forward and be like, I'm not even 20 years old and I'm a pro? How'd you
Yeah,
get into
so I started at it was 6 years ago, so I would have been 12. It
Wow.
was at Hume Lake Christian Camp. I just went up my counselor, he's probably watching this right now, Cameron Leong. He
Shout out.
he took me out, and I still play with him today. He's
Wow.
the best. But so he took me out. I rented discs from the boathouse. I got a DX T-Bird and a DX Eagle, which are pretty much the
Yeah.
same disc.
Right.
But I just picked them because like the DX discs have like the picture on them, you know.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
So like they had the
Yep.
coolest pictures. So I picked those and played around and like literally just never stopped playing. I got home and got some discs and like played for a little bit just from my friend, and then bought my first starter pack from Big Five and got an ace the first round I played
What?
with those discs.
Yo.
Dude's hooked for
Yeah, I was
life
so
at that
hooked.
point, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Talk
hooked.
us through the first ace, dude. That's crazy. What
Okay,
would you
so
throw? What's the hole?
yeah, so it's hole 7 at this course up by Bass Lake. We have a cabin up there, and I was up there with my family, and so I went to Big Five, got a starter pack. I got the white DX Leopard, the orange Shark, and I don't remember what color the AVR was, but we played this little. It's like a little pitch and putt 9-hole, but hole 7 is like the only legit hole. It's like 250 uphill,
Yeah.
Wow.
and we played the first round, and then we went back for another, and I threw like this big sidearm flex and just hearted it. It like started running
Dude.
around and crying, and
Of course.
it was
Love it.
insane because I was only 12, so I was just like
Dude.
freaking out. But
Oh
now I
my
have some.
gosh.
Now I can make fun of Gannon because Gannon didn't get an ace for like his entire career.
You hear that, Gannon? Miranda's coming for you. Ace Younger. That's crazy, dude. What a time.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Do you still have your starter discs? Do you have them like framed or anything? You're like, this is what I do now. No.
Unfortunately, so the first ever discs I had were these like black DX Leopards that were just lying around at at my church, and my cousin has like a couple of them because we just were playing together. I think at one point we had like 10 of them, but
Wow.
I think we've lost most of them at this point. But
Nice.
he has a couple.
As leopards go.
Dude.
Yeah,
Mhm.
black
Black
leopards.
ones. Yeah, always.
That's crazy. Well, you talked a lot about like you had church camps when you first started playing. The guys you're hanging out with. Are you part of Eagles Wings and like spending time with a lot of that crew?
Yeah, so I don't really know what it takes to like be an official member of Eagles Wings, but I'll like go to the services when I'm out there, and
Nice.
there's a little Bible study that they do. I'll go to that, and so that's most of the guys I've been hanging out with.
Cool.
Been hanging out a good bit with the Robinsons too, and Gannon and Alden.
Heck yeah.
So
Georgia
they
boys.
all,
Those are our boys. Heck yeah.
yeah, they're the best.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that's cool that you already have community too, like jumping on to the tour. I think we talked to Cole a lot about that, about like how important it is like to have that community behind you, like when you're just gone for months out of a time, and to have that around you. So that's super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's jump to
sorry, I was gonna ask you, as you were growing up, did you play any other sports ever?
Yeah, I played baseball and soccer.
Nice.
I was probably the best at soccer. I was on a club team, and we were just like we were insane, honestly. Like
Let's go.
in the 2 years I was on the team, we lost like 2 games.
Oh, wow.
We got scored on 1 time, so it
Dang.
was a little more serious, I think, than I wanted to be, and I just got burnt out too early.
That makes sense.
And so I ended up stopping that
Did you win
just
the
before I got into
championship?
high school. No,
No champ, dude. I was about to say
no.
I'm a state champion for soccer, so I played for 20
Well,
years.
yeah, we won
So
state, but
you won state.
not world
Okay.
champion.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, but you won states. That's all that matters. Yeah, I won
yeah,
states here in Georgia, and it's like, dude, there's nothing like it. Like,
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
huge.
oh my god, we won states. Like, yes,
yeah.
that's awesome.
No, it's sick.
Love it.
So yeah, so I stopped playing soccer. Don't really miss soccer at all. But I miss baseball a lot. I played up until high school. Also, disc golf kind of just took over, and with like how much I was gone, I couldn't really commit to being on the team. Disc golf was just more important at the time.
Right.
But a bunch of my friends still play baseball, and they're going and playing in college now, and so
Nice.
I pretty much make it to every one of their games that I could, and
Nice.
that's like probably my biggest regret is not playing baseball, like finding a way to play baseball in high school. But I did run cross country and track through high school because the coach, like, he was super chill with me missing practices and meets, and I was fast enough to where he could keep me. And so yeah, I probably missed at least half of the races, and
Wow.
he kept me. He's like, as long as you can be there for league, CIF, and state, then I'll let you be on the team. And so I committed to those and had to drop a couple tournaments for him, but it was definitely worth it. It was fun having the team aspect of that I don't get in disc golf, and to able to make some good friends, and helps me stay in shape a little bit too. But I don't miss getting up early to go run and
Run 8 miles.
being out there when it's 100 degrees. And I just ran the other day with a friend for the first time and since state last year.
Jeez.
And so we ran 8 miles, and I literally could not walk for like 3 days. It was so bad.
Dude, that's great. What was your event?
In track, I did the mile and 800, and then
Oh, wow.
cross country is just the 5K. But
Here's a question, and we'll move on to the European Open after this. I've always wanted to do a speed run disc golf tournament where your strokes and how many minutes it takes you to finish the course add to your overall like points.
Love it.
The hard thing is you have to have like a volunteer scoring for someone, you know, like as they run, because like they're not scoring and they can't do it with another person because you can't wait. So it's got to be like runs, like lines of like individual people. But what do you think about it? Would you want to play something like that?
Have you ever done that before? Like a sprinting
round?
Like,
yeah, my cousin and I have like tried to play our 18-hole course as fast as we can, and it was in the shorts, and I think we played it in like 25 minutes.
Whoa,
that's awesome.
How'd you shoot?
I think I shot like a few under. Like it was pretty decent.
Nice.
But yeah, I've thought about that before, and like trying to figure out if like, you know, it's got to be score based, obviously, and then like if you beat a certain time, maybe like for every 10 seconds you like take off a stroke. I don't know, but
right.
I think it'd be pretty funny to get some of the pros out there doing that, and
who on tour do you think would be the best? Who do you think would be the best at on tour? And what course? A tour
who's in
course.
good shape. Oh, and a tour course.
Yeah, tour course. We'll go FPO
I feel
layout.
like it's gotta be FPO layout. I feel like I gotta say, I mean, Eric Oakley runs a lot.
He runs every day.
He's up there.
Yeah.
Maybe Ezra. I think everyone would say Ezra. He's in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Yeah.
How's his cardio though? You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
He's all upper body. He's got those chicken legs, man. That's why he wears pants all the time.
I'm gonna go with Eric. I don't know anyone else that runs more than Eric.
All right.
I think regardless of how he plays, his running is gonna save him the most strokes.
I did it one time at our home course here called Oregon Park in Georgia, and I played the silver to silver, which is the short layout. This was in 2014 because I was using a 2014 stamp PA3. I aced hole 7,
No
and I
way.
played the whole round in 32 minutes, and I shot 11 under.
Wow.
Mhm. And
That's
I
hot.
was
That's
drenched,
nasty.
like
of
done.
course.
It was absurd. So yeah, it's a wild ride. It's a wild ride. Zach, we should look into that, like an unsanctioned sprint.
Yes.
And it's not like we could, market it, be like, it's not going to take long. Just knock it out on your lunch break, get a nice 33-minute round.
Well, I think the only thing is like we either have to have volunteers
Mhm.
to be the scorers, like while they run, like you score,
Mm-hmm.
or in order to play, you have to score someone else's round. So like you're scoring someone and
You have
then
to run
playing
2
someone.
rounds.
You would, yeah. Ideally, you would go a little bit slower than the person playing, but
Right.
that's like my idea.
Yeah.
If I couldn't get
Fun.
enough volunteers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like it. That's awesome. I love that. That'd be fun. That'd be a really cool idea.
It'd be so fun.
Didn't Jomez Pro do that with like they had like carts and it was like the fastest to play?
I think I saw something
That was a
about
while
that.
ago. It was like an off-season thing they did of like they had like different ways to get to the thing and they had like golf carts and stuff. It was like a whole thing. I forget. It was a while ago I saw the video. But anyway, dude, let's jump to European Open because I feel like all of a sudden everyone knows your name. What was, going into Europe? What were the expectations? What did you, think it was going to be like? And then obviously jump into wherever you want to go from there.
Yeah, so going into it, I honestly I don't know. I didn't really I don't know. I just felt like so grateful to be there, honestly, like getting onto hole 1's tee pad and
Yeah.
like seeing that shot after watching it for so long on TV and like this was definitely the dream tournament to go to.
Yeah.
So just the way it all worked out with like feeling like I just kind of choked away the spot at OTB and then getting the last spot and then just like plans falling together and it all working out. I just felt like I don't know, like I didn't have much expectations. I just felt like I could go out there and play and like do my best and however the scores work out is how it's meant to be. And so I feel like I was in a really good mindset to just go out and play. Like I didn't like obviously I cared a lot, but I was like just being here is such a win and like however I play, if I play bad, I'm not going to let that ruin like my experience here. So just going out, like even playing round 1, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm playing solid, but like it just kind of all like fell together. I was like, all right, well, I pull up my scores and I'm in second place. It's like, what is going on?
Dude,
It never really felt real the whole time, but it's just like the coolest opportunity ever. I was so grateful for everything, like how it all worked out. But
talk about the 2 courses. So I've seen, watched the footage. Obviously, European Opens a couple weeks ago. Tampere, I think is not as well known of a course. That course you shredded the first round. That's a hard course, a very very difficult course. What about that course did you like? Did you love? Challenged you because it showed some serious teeth. I mean, for the top players in the world, and 7 down was the best round that was out there for the first round. I mean, what was it like out there?
Yeah, I mean, just like playing it in practice because I was practicing it with Ezra and Isaac, who are like I would say easily the favorites to play well at that course. And so like I'm just watching them play all week and I'm like, holy crap, like I'm just gonna get freaking wrecked out here. And I don't know. I don't know if that made me like push me to like play more aggressive or start to I don't know, throw those shots better. But going into it, I knew it was gonna be super hard, but like seeing them play it, I was like, all right, people are like saying this is the hardest course in the world, but I'm just seeing these guys lace every single shot and like they're probably like 10 under right now. And so I was like, all right, this is more scoreable than everybody's saying. I don't believe it. And then it turned out to be like I think it averaged harder than Northwood Black, but I mean that course is insane. I think it's I don't think anyone's debating that it's a better course than the Beast. I think I like the Beast better just for like the historic like kind of prestige of it, but just the shots out there are like unreal, like nothing I've ever played in the States. So I cannot wait to go back for Worlds next year. I think it's like premium destination for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, round 1 was your highest rated Pro Tour round ever.
Yeah, Pro Tour.
Did it feel any different than previous ones?
I mean, like I said earlier, like I felt like I was just out there like just playing my game and didn't feel like I was doing anything crazy, but sometimes those are the ones that you play the best. And it's like,
right.
I was just making my putts. Like I don't even think I think I made like 1 circle 2 putt maybe. I just made my circle 1 putts.
Yeah.
Like stayed out of the woods. I think I only had 1 OB.
I literally wrote in my notes. I was like, 1 out of 6 circle 2 putts. He cleans that up, and brother's shredding. That's literally what I wrote.
That's what I'm saying. Like
crazy. Like
I didn't feel like I was doing anything crazy, but like that
Right.
course is just about damage control, and I didn't make any huge mistakes, and that was
And
really.
You scrambled 100%.
Yeah, I scrambled well. I like stayed out of the woods, and when I played smart. I didn't try to be stupid and like go for anything out of my wheelhouse, and just I don't know. That course is very, very unique in that, where just like you just can't mess up. Like you don't have to throw amazing shots. Like the shots are all like they're all right there. But once you try to push too much and you start having to scramble, it adds up really quick.
Yeah. There was one hole, I think it's hole 3. It's a turnover backhand. Is that hole 3?
Yeah.
Like and someone posted it on the DGA All Day Facebook page actually the other day. I think you threw the cordon pipeline to perfection. Like
that was pretty nasty.
That was like one of the best shots of the tournament in my opinion. Like it was gorgeous. Like that was so sick. And to see it like keep popping up, like literally the other day, someone was like, does anyone know what he threw here? And was it a pipeline? I think it was.
Yeah, it's the 23 cordon pipeline.
Oh,
That's probably the flippiest one I've ever thrown. That run. But they're so good. Like I was talking to a couple of my friends at home who were watching it live, and they're like, dude, we thought you threw it straight in the woods left, and it just perfect late flip. And it's such a good disc, especially like for beginners. That's the one I recommend every time for that. I mean, if you could get that run, I think that was the best. They're just super domey, like super glidey, but like workable and understable. It's so good. If I hit it right, I could throw that disc like 500 feet. It's ridiculous.
I love it. I have the same
as
run.
far as my distance drivers easily.
Yeah, I have the same run when I first switched to DGA. I got a couple of them, and I threw one 460, and I was like, "What?
Yeah,
what?
Like, the glide is ridiculous.
It was crazy. I was like, "Oh, that's as far as Torrance." Okay, like
yeah,
I was
exactly.
so surprised. Well, talk about what ended up happening. You jumped to lead card round 2. You get through a couple of things. It's a delay. You're like, okay, first of all, what's the night before going into this? You're like, I'm on lead card at a major with Paul McBeth on
Chris Dickerson.
Dude, like, what was your headspace? Were you like, is this not real? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like when the cards were all coming in at the end, Niklas was coming up, and like he was gonna bump me out if anybody. And I was like honestly hoping he would bump me out. I was like really scared to play on lead card. And then like they somehow like a couple people bogeyed, and like through like 15 holes it was a guarantee. Like no one could bump me off. And that was insane, like just kind of finally like realizing that. And then people texting me like at home like, lead card, there's no way they can bump you. But playing with Donnie Randon was pretty fun. He's someone I've hung out with a good bit on tour, so having like someone like that on the card was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then McBeth, definitely my favorite player. Him and Chris both probably my 2 favorite players right now. So just getting to watch their game I had to keep reminding myself that I was actually playing and I'm not just like a fan out here, just like
I love it.
Watching,
You're like clapping, like, oh, it's my turn. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gotta get my disc.
Yeah. No, but like those delays was so wild. Just like being out there, warming up, horn. I just hung out with McBeth for like an hour. It was like the coolest, weirdest thing ever. And then we go back out, warm up again, nothing, and then go back to the cars, and then I think we warmed up for a third time. Finally got to hole 1, and then blew it and told us to go home. So
Yeah,
it was.
I remember watching it on
I mean,
camera.
it was just such a wild
no.
first experience. Yeah,
Everyone's like, oh, no, you're not going, and especially like y'all didn't even be off. Like it wasn't like, thankfully you didn't have to walk back and forth. We talked about it when we did our European Open like recap a couple weeks ago, and it was like Adam Hamlis was like, I've walked 3 miles and I've played 1 hole. Like you're walking back and forth to the car. So thankfully you're on hole 1. So you get through going, and then they tell you, hey, round 2 is going to start with shotgun start at 7 a.m. So you're like, oh, sick. I'm on lead card, and now I get to do this with barely any sleep, twice doing it. Like, where's the headspace now?
Well, so I feel like I had an advantage because at home I play 2 round in a day beachers all the time.
Right.
So like obviously they're not pro tour length courses, so it's a little different stress on the body. But I was the most excited because I like playing on lead card at the Monster would have been cool, but like lead card at the Beast I think is top of the list for a lot of players. Like just the crowds out there are insane. I think there was upwards of 4,000 plus people there on Saturday, and a good amount of them were watching us. So by far the most people I've ever played in front of, and it was so fun. Like, because playing on the Monster in the morning, like they didn't allow any spectators, so it was just us. It's like the morning, it's all quiet, everyone's kind of tired, and zero noise. Like it's just us and the cameras. It was
tree hits,
super weird. Yeah, it's like echoes through everything, and just felt so strange. And then you get out to the Beast, and it was completely different. It felt so weird that you had already played around that day, and it was definitely my favorite round of disc golf I've ever played.
Wow. So, what's a memory throughout that round being at the Beast that comes to mind when you think like, I played lead card at the Beast? Where is there a hole? Is there a shot or a big putt or something you hit that like you can come to mind real quick?
I hit like an 80-footer on, I think it was hole 12 for birdie, and I made the Pro Tour top 10 for the European Open, which is pretty sick. But then I think honestly, just being on hole 1, and because I talked about that earlier, like that tee pad, especially just being on that tee pad is so crazy after watching it for so long. Feel like that's got to be the signature tee shot out there. Maybe there's a couple other ones, but that's definitely the one that comes to my mind. And then, they announce my name and just like look back and just a million people around, and they're all just so happy to see you. And then the second, number 2 is finishing my round, and the amount of kids that are there and that want autographs is insane. Like they just line the fences, and it takes forever to get out of there, but it's so worth it. Like they're all just shoving discs in your face and markers, and I've signed autographs after tournaments, but nothing like that. It was pretty special.
Is there something
the fact they were kids was way cooler?
Absolutely. Because that energy is just so pure,
Yeah, and they say kids play baseball or play disc golf there like they play Little League baseball in America.
Yes,
like every kid plays.
Yes,
so
that's amazing.
Pretty sick.
On a like tournament level, there were a lot of things that people noticed that were pretty different about the European Open and just the swing in general. Was there anything specific that you can come up with that you would like to see more in the US?
I mean, the courses.
Yeah, I guess that's the hardest part, man.
The courses. I mean, I think it's just like the private property, and I think the budget is different. The amount of thought that goes into everything. Like we're playing our first practice round at the Monster. Now you go, if you guys remember hole 6, it's this like crazy green that the baskets like sit at the top, and it's just literally straight down.
Yeah.
So we ran into UC Maresma playing that hole, and he like took one of Isaac's discs. He's like, "This is how you play the hole." He's like, "Give me a straight mid range," and just rips it, parks it. But he was like, "Yeah." So I made this I made this whatever structure out of Play-Doh at my house and gave it to the contractor. He made it with his kid's Play-Doh. He like shaped up exact because he's like, yeah, I made it because the right side is steep. So if you hit the spike hyzer, it's gonna roll down every time. So you got to play it to the left or like play it straight into it, and forces the death putt. He's like, just the amount of thought that goes into all this stuff is insane. So
that is insane.
I mean, I don't know. It's just they just treat disc golf different there. I don't know how you can change that, but I think it'll grow enough to where people treat it a little bit more seriously here. And nothing against the Pro Tour by any means, but they have a lot more I think like ground to work with over in Europe. So the Pro Tour is doing the best they can, but the courses is the biggest thing. Like the courses over there are just night and day. They're so good.
Yeah.
We went to this little like piece of crap 9-hole just to play by the Airbnb. And it was like the best course I've ever played. It was so good. It was so good. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just a different ball game over there. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Cool to hear though.
You talked about one of the moments was that big putt on coverage, made the top 10, everything. There was a quote that Brian Earhart said in the moment, and he said, and I quote, "There was a lot of Paul McBeth in that putting stroke. It's literally a perfect putt, one of my favorite putts I've seen in a long time." Saying that about you, what does that feel like hearing someone talk about your game and commentate on your game with all the work you put in and how young you are and the people you looked up to? What does it feel like to hear something like that? And does that surprise you, or is putting something that you're like, I made this my thing?
It's funny because putting has never been my strong suit. And I've never felt like my putt looks good, or like even my results have not been the best in the past. And then like playing on local coverage, people talking about me all the time, but that's way different because like I am the favorite to win these tournaments, but like out there, nobody even knows who I am. So it's like somebody like that talking about me like that is so cool. I mean, I feel like it's just like, I don't know, it's just refreshing to see that the hard work that I put in is finally paying off.
Yeah.
I mean, the last year and a half has been like pretty up and down, and honestly felt pretty stagnant. But kind of like getting that breakthrough and just seeing the way people have accepted it, and it's been like encouraging to hear that. But I think more just like pretty cool to prove to myself that I can be out there and play well, and I can compete with all those guys. And it's like even just I don't know, it's less about like what they're saying and like how other people are going to interpret it, but more just being able to know that for myself, like prove that to myself that I kind of belong here. So I feel like he was giving me a little too much credit, but I really appreciated all the
your humility
nice
is
words
nice. I'll say that.
I'm like, dude, I have
your putt's
pages,
sexy, bro.
Dude, it's so sick. Like I have pages of notes, and like on every like people's name and stuff as we're taking notes for the tournament prep for podcast. And like I literally wrote every round that I was like, putter continues to be on fire, holding his own on the pressure putts. Like it comes out so clean, it's spinny, it's nose up, it's just pushing. So like the fact that you don't think about it, I think that says a lot about that is a part of your game that you have put a lot of work into and doing that. Kind of to transition from that too, you're saying putting and stuff. What part of your game do you feel like needs the most work? Do you feel like you said, like, oh, I can be a part of this, I can make a league card at a major? What part of your game do you think you need to change or work on to put yourself in a position every week?
I mean, up to this year, the biggest thing was distance. I never had the distance. I think a portion of that was discs too. I'll leave it at that. So with DJ this year too, like I put a lot of work in the off season to get my distance up, but also like being able to throw new discs, and like they're so much better and they go so much further. And so that's been like a huge level up, at least playing the Pro Tour courses, because at home you don't don't need distance like you do out there, and it has to be like controlled distance too. So that was the biggest thing up until now, and so at this point, I feel like I have like all the skills that I need. I have the distance I need, like my putting is coming together, and sidearms quality, touch shots are good. It's just finding that consistency to be able to put it together every week. It's like I feel like I'm starting to figure that out, but there seems to be that one stretch of like 5-6 holes in a tournament that kind of takes me out of it. So finding a way, just in my game plan and like just the way I'm approaching each hole to find ways to eliminate those stretches. Because I don't know, Eagle said something where like in the off season it's not like he's going out to a field and like videoing himself and like looking at his form. It's like he has all the shots. It's just like refining his mental game and all these things. And so I think that's kind of where I'm at. I think I'm a huge perfectionist, so I'll always be working on form and stuff like that. But I think majority is just like dialing in my mental game and trying to stay as consistent as possible.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you're hitting a pretty solid stride. I'm looking at your ratings history here, and after the first few tournaments, you were rated like just above 900, and in under 3 years, you were rated 1,000.
That's insane.
Okay, so first of all, amazing. I know a lot of people who are thinking, what the F? How is this kid doing it? If you have any tips, we'll hear those. But now let's extend that another 2 years, and you are 1019 rated, highest rated you've ever been. You've had like a couple fluctuations here and there, but I think that speaks to the consistency that you're able to get. And you're playing the hardest courses in the world.
Yeah, I mean, man. It was like I felt like you said, like in 3 years I hit 1,000 rated, but like that 1,000 to like, I mean, then I kind of climbed up to 1010 fairly soon after that, but that 1010 to 1020 has been a struggle, honestly, because I think I hit 1010 probably a year and a half ago at least, and like it sucks to like be putting in all the work and just like kind of like I said, kind of feeling stagnant. And so I felt that a lot last year. I think my rating, I don't think it went up at all the whole year. And then this year, like still putting in all the work, still, doing the same things, still going to the same tournaments, and playing even harder tournaments, and finally like seeing the growth that I know that I'm capable of. So like even into this year, dropping even more was just super defeating. But I think my last 3 rating updates were up 3, up 4, up 4. So
yeah, man.
My big goal for this year was to hit 1020. So
there you go.
Even the last couple tournaments, feeling like I played pretty. I mean, honestly, last term I feel like I blew up, and I'm still averaging over 1020. So I think that's super encouraging for the rest of the year, and I think I'm pretty confident that I'll surpass 1020 pretty comfortably. So
love it.
Definitely very happy to finally be getting up there, because that was a big goal of mine last year and didn't even get close. So that was pretty frustrating when I knew I was still putting in all the work. But
do you think being on tour? Do you think being on tour affects that? Do you think, like, I know a lot of people talk like, oh, if I was on tour, I'd be 15, 20 points higher? Or do you think the courses are harder and it's like, no, you really got to have your stuff together?
So I've actually heard the opposite. I think a lot of people, at least on tour that I've talked to, say that tour ratings are deflated by 10 to 15 points.
Wow.
So, and I would have to agree with that. Like playing on the pro tour and like playing really well. I've shot 1050, and then playing at home and playing really well, I've shot 1070 plus. So it's like, I definitely can agree with that. But I don't know, like being on tour also, like I feel like I'm just like playing better overall. I mean, I'm literally out there and all I do is play disc golf. Like at home, I have a job, I have school to do, I have like a lot of other responsibilities, and like I don't know, I feel like there's the ratings might be a little worse on tour, but I feel like when I'm on tour, my game is a lot better. So it kind of goes both ways, but um, I don't know. For me, I don't really like if I shoot a poor rating on the pro tour, it's not like, oh, these ratings suck. Like if I average under my rating, even on tour, like I didn't play well. So I'm not gonna blame it on that. But I do think overall, I think ratings are better at like A and B tiers than pro tours. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah,
I can see why.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It also depends like what other players are in the field. Like if I go to a tournament and the next best player is like 980, the ratings are probably gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah.
So unless I beat them by like it's 10, so
right.
I don't know.
Right.
It kind of goes both ways. As long as it's like a smaller tournament and there's several people over 1,000 rated, the ratings are usually pretty solid.
Nice.
Kind of moving away from Europe, from what's happening right now, to an expectation for the World Championships. What are your thoughts? How do you think it's going to shake up?
Have you played World Championships before?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play Am Worlds?
No.
Oh, wow. So this is your first Worlds in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played Junior Worlds, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
So yeah, first Worlds. So I'm pretty excited. I've heard a lot of good things about the courses. New London, I'm especially looking forward to. I think that course suits my game pretty well. So I think just going out there, like I said, I got this little minor elbow irritation that kind of flared up last weekend. So as long as I can get that healthy, feeling pretty good going into that. I think I'll have 4 days to practice, so probably get 2 rounds in on each course, and that'll be pretty good. And I think if I can just prioritize rest and make sure I'm ready to go for the tournament, that's something I try to prioritize. Like I'd go out and play 2 rounds in a day, no problem, but realizing that that's not really sustainable, and like that extra round is probably not going to really gain me anything. So I think if I can rest well and recover well and just be in a good mindset going into it, I should be pretty well. But for top picks, I'm going dark horse pick on Ezra Robinson.
Hey, that's my pick.
Let's go.
That's my pick too.
He's been playing so clean, man.
Yeah, good friend of mine. I'm definitely rooting for him either way, and
love it.
I think the courses will suit his game very well also, and he's trending very well in the right direction and is ready due for a win. So,
dude, that'd be sick to see Robinson brothers go back to back, dude. I think Georgia would explode. We would lose 100%. Our minds. Like I lost to these kids when they were freaking 10. Yeah, like, now they're world champions. It's okay. I love that. That's a good take.
That is a really good
What do you know
pick.
about Ivy Hill? Is it I don't know anything about that course.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't know a ton either. I know it's on a golf course. I know I've heard it's like pretty fair for being a golf course. It's not just like a goat hill, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen like any videos on it or anything, but I've heard from a couple people that have been there that it's pretty good. So yeah, I think it'll be a good contrast having New London still having some distance, but being more technical side, and then having the golf course should be a pretty solid contrast. But I don't really have a ton of information on the course yet.
Going into World Championships, when you know that you've already been on a lead card in a major, when you know that's possible, and do you think that there's a chance that you pop off and you're able to be in control again? Do you see that happening with the style courses that you're playing?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. It's not something that I'm expecting for myself by any means. I think being in that mindset that I had at European Open of just like, hey, super grateful to be here, and like, whatever whatever happens is going to happen. And all I can control is just go out there and play my best and, do what I can on each shot. And making that my only goal is, I think, going to be important. And, if I can do well with that and, keep a level head, then absolutely, I think there's a chance. Like I said, I think managing my expectations is going to be key, and I'm not going to put that expectation on myself by any means. But yeah, I mean, I proved it at European Open. If things are clicking, then I can hang with those guys for sure.
Heck yeah, love it,
man. I'm so pumped for you, dude. This is going to be a cool experience.
Yeah, I'm so excited. My dad's coming out too, so
hey, there you go.
I've been traveling all year by myself, so it'll be pretty fun to have him out there.
Is he gonna caddy for you?
I don't let people carry my bag,
okay.
but so he'll have the caddy badge, but he won't be on the bag.
Nice.
What's I know there's a lot of guys who do that.
Yeah.
What's your reasoning?
I don't know. I think it's just the routine of carrying my bag. I just feel lost if I'm just walking with nothing on me. But I met this kid Anton at European Open. I played with him round one. He won the AM weekend before it ended. Super cool. He came and I gave him the caddy badge, and he came and walked with me. And I like that. Just have somebody to talk to, and just not. I don't know. Just have something to take my mind off the round a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I'll do that for sure. But no, I got to carry my bag no matter what.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Love it.
I don't know what it is, but.
Well, talking about your bag, switching to DGA this year. Talk about that switch. Talk about being on the team. What it's been like. What's your go-to discs? And then talk about you have a new Quake coming out too.
Yeah. So the switch has been fantastic. I'm only 2 hours from the warehouse, so. Going up and hanging out with Scott and KG, getting all my stuff picked out was super easy, honestly. They helped me find all the best stuff and was able to adjust pretty quick. But some of my favorite discs so far, for sure, the Hypercane is amazing. That's been definitely. I think I would go out and say most underrated distance driver in the game right now.
Okay.
Because if you find a good Domi one, it's pretty stable, but a lot of glide and just super predictable. So that's been definitely my most thrown disc on tour, just to still get me distance, but know exactly what it's going to do. And I feel like I have so much control over that disc. So I've been loving that. And then the Bonsai is really good.
Yeah.
It's a super underrated disc as well. I think people just hate on it right away because of the bead. But it flies so good. But my favorite so far has been the Aftershock.
Yeah.
I never have been a mid-range guy. And I'm going to be honest, when I went to the warehouse for the first time, I didn't even get one because it felt so bad in my hand. Scott just snuck one into my pile.
Sneaky Scott, let's go.
Yeah, he snuck it in, and I found some different runs. I'm really digging the first runs. Those
the first
those are my favorite for sure. Yeah, so
I got a couple of those. They're nice.
Yeah, Cole. I throw one of those limeys that Cole lives by or swears by. That's like my flippy guy, and then I got a first run that's super straight, and then the new Cole Glow ones are pretty beefy.
They're beefy and has a release. They're awesome. I love it.
Yeah, so I've been loving that thing with it can handle plenty of wind and torque, and it doesn't flip like my other ones. But so yeah, having that mid range slot and being extremely confident in it is not something I've ever had before, and that's been my favorite disc for sure. Also, funny side note, that one Aftershock that Scott snuck in there, I ended up giving to Parker, and Parker's been throwing it all year. A couple of those aces he hit on early round, those were with that green Quake that he just snuck in there. And Parker was another one. I traded him for some Marweed avalanches, but he's like, I haven't even tried an aftershock yet. It feels so bad. And I was like, dude,
Yeah,
here you go. Try it out.
That's the one he's aced with. I love it.
Yeah, that green one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Why were you not using mid ranges, or like what did you use instead when
Just
you
throw putters far enough, I guess? Or
so I had the Warden, which I love that disc so much. I honestly miss it a little bit. My BL is I'm liking it more and more every day.
Nice.
I like them way better for putting. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
But the Warden was definitely the best throwing putter I've thrown in a while, probably ever. And so yeah, that I threw the crap out of that disc. So and then I threw a Gatekeeper.
Yeah,
wasn't really doing it for me. So I pretty much just threw the Warden as much as I could. So yeah,
that makes sense. So you had the slot filled, you didn't need it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of did need it, but I just like worked my way around it and made it work. And so but having the aftershock has been amazing. That disc is so good.
I feel like for guys with your distance, like being able to push a mid range to that 400 footish mark in the woods and like with control and stuff, like it saves so many strokes with like you're not skipping, you're having much more control when you can power up on that kind of thing. So that's good to know. Aftershock's doing it, dude. I feel like the Aftershock got a little quiet there for a bit, but now with a lot of the guys we have on the team, it's definitely making a name for itself. Love to hear it. Let's talk about the Quake, dude. You just had a sweet swirly run come out. Talk about the getting to have a signature disc.
Yeah, so those came out sick. Some nasty swirls in those, but so big thank you to DGA for sure for hooking it up with those. It was a sweet run we were able to do. I don't think swirly Proline Quakes have ever been done, so that was pretty cool to introduce those, and they've been selling pretty well. They're up on OTB too. They've been selling pretty well over there too. So I really appreciate all the support. But if anybody's interested in them, follow me on Instagram and send me a message, and I'll get you hooked up for sure. I'd love to get some more out there. They're nice, stable, pretty flat, and lots of swirls, and we got literally every color. So whatever you guys want.
The stamp is clean too.
Yeah, stamp looks good.
Yeah, I don't have any with me right now, but it was actually my mom's idea. I have my logo, and then she like came up with this like earthquake kind of shatter look.
Like shattered ground.
Super sick. Yeah, so
it's fresh, man.
Yeah. So who has the best Quake? Is it you with your Proline Swirly? Is it Parker with the Tour Series, or is it Sully with the Ice Swirly?
Yeah, so I know I got Parker beat.
Dang!
Quick.
No, I know mine are better than Parker's. I love Parker. He's a good friend of mine, but mine definitely came out better, not even biasly.
It's okay. I lost his, so it's fine.
And then I haven't thrown Sully's yet. We're gonna do a little swapperoo at Worlds. He's already got one for me. He's already got one for me. So yeah, we're gonna. I haven't seen him, so we'll see.
Do a Quake battle. Little Instagram post. Maybe we
will. Yeah.
Love it.
That's awesome, dude. I think everybody's stamps came out pretty sick though. Like Parker's stamp is sweet. I like what they did with the team series stamps, and then the pickleball is a good idea, and I think mine came out super clean. So
love it. Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, dude, we're excited for you heading into Worlds. I mean, like Zach already said, the humility of just like, man, I'm just happy to be here. Like you can feel it in the way that you talk and you carry yourself. And I mean, on the course here on the podcast, like it's just, you're so thankful to be there. And I think that goes such a long way. So dude, thanks for being you, for just doing your thing and like going into things with confidence. And so it's super cool. It's super refreshing, where I feel like as our sport grows, like that becomes more and more important. That's like, what are your roots? What are you, confident in? Can you just have a level head and just be thankful to be there? So it's taken you this far, dude. And we're so excited to see where you're going to continue to go. And man, league card, Worlds, we're calling it. Andrew Miranda, baby. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Love it. Zach, you got anything else?
No, just want to say thanks. You've been awesome. Thanks for fielding all our questions. And dude, keep rocking it, heal up and get out there and do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. That was super fun.
Dude, first podcast ever, baby. Well done.
Yeah.
Come on. Heck yeah, dude. Love it, dude. Well, we'll be right back with the Park Podcast. We'll talk about a little bit of Worlds preview, jump into some news. We'll see you guys in a bit. Before we get into all this, let's jump into some news. And man, it's been a lot of news in a lot of different kind of areas of the sport, from Ryan Mon to no phones at Worlds to Lone Star Discs is cutting players. We got a lot to get into real quick here. We're going to rapid fire here. Starting with Ryan Mon, the AM Slam, as it's been calling it. Talked with the Mon brothers when we were in Des Moines, and it was like, dude, he's going to go for it, be the first person to ever win all 3 amateur majors. Zach, what's your take on this? Give me 30 seconds. Go.
So obvious consistency, able to perform at high levels. Pressure seems to be like, no real contrast there. I'm curious how it happens when he's on cards with guys that he looks up to, and he's playing maybe courses that are a little bit harder, or they should be harder, right? Pro Tour courses. But he's got a brother who's a support system who can already get him in with some contacts. I think when he gets on tour, it's going to happen. He's going to start climbing. There's going to be maybe a year or two of growth, and then we're going to see him up near the top 25 probably in some of these tournaments.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, this is definitely his most commanding win by 6 here at the AM Worlds this past weekend, or past week, I guess. But I mean, some of these other ones were pretty close call. I mean, he won the U.S. Amateur Championships by 1.
Ooh, wow.
Lucas Carmichael. So I mean, it's definitely some close ones, but he did pull it off. I think the most surprising one to me is definitely the most recent one, because it was just like, dude, he won Junior Worlds. AM Worlds, yes, by 11. I mean, it was like not really close. But the thing is I think people were like, move up, whatever. He shot a 1077, I think it was. Was that the rated run? 1079, 15 under.
What?
Yeah, just insane. That was
unbelievable.
So I mean, like, but again, we go back to exactly what people have been saying. It's like, look, tour ratings versus these A B tiers. I don't know. It's just like, where does it matter? But I mean, you look at how he's played into, when he was on tour for a little bit, Des Moines and chess.com, 86 and 87th. You're not shaking any trees. You're not making any money when you're playing that way. So I don't know. But
it's all a learning curve, right? That's why I said a couple years of learning, and then we'll be off.
Get some confidence. Right.
Yeah,
for sure. So either way, though, no one's ever done it. His name's in the history books of our sport saying, I won all 3. And I mean, to do that under 18 years old, that's going to be tough to do again. Yes. It's going to be really tough to do again. So shout out to you, Ryan, and the Mon fam. That's absolutely incredible. And he gets to hold that over his brothers. So
yes. Yeah.
I mean, you got
Jake
that
said,
one.
I'm the better player.
I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to see the Mon brothers and the Robinson brothers. Can we get a lead card of double brothers?
Brother v brother, dude. No. Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be actually so sick. I'd love that. Okay, well, cool. I think it's sick. I don't know. I think it could happen. We'll see. Moving on. No phones at Worlds. Dude, I will say, I'm getting a lot of news from this. I think he's Estonian. The guy who runs the Disc Golf Fanatic page on Facebook posts so much. And it's like on the top of my feed every time. Thanks, Facebook algorithm. But I'm just going to read this thing over on Reddit Disc Golf, is where the screenshot's from. No cell phones at New London for Worlds 2024. So I guess they can't have them at Ivy Hill. But we got this info here. An email was sent yesterday to everyone who has purchased a spectator ticket for Worlds. And in it, there's a bullet point that says, New London note, cell phones will not be allowed on the site. Please keep your phone in your car. The Disc Golf Network broadcast runs off of cell signal, and with the limited capacity of the cell network on site, they have asked us to limit the amount of cell phones in use at the park to save network usage for their live units. What are your thoughts on this?
It just seems like there should have been some sort of premeditation.
Yeah.
Right? This seems like last second, oh crap, we're figuring out that we can't actually put this out live.
And I know there's teams that like go out and test these things and make sure it works. But it's like, was it better at one point when they approved the course and they said, hey, we're doing world championships here? Or did something change? Is there a way to get more service there? I don't know the tech side of like cell service. Not really, probably. But like, how are you going to stop that? How are you going to go, oh, you're taking a video with your phone? Are you on airplane mode? Like, you're not going to, there's no way to police that. Live scoring, players alone. I mean, there's so many people, just players even, that are going to be there. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know what the Virginia disc golf scene is like necessarily. Like, will it be freaking packed? I don't know. It's weird. It's not a good look.
No, it's not. It's very unprofessional. This is like high school, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're in my math class. Put your photos away, right? Like, how
Right.
no one's going to be out there policing. I don't think there will be any policing at all.
No.
There will be signs. There will be like encouragement. You know, they'll do it in the way that if you are following the rules, then you're doing it the right way. But there are going to be a ton of people who say, no way, I'm not doing that. I want pictures. I want photos or videos or whatever. I want to see live scoring. I want to watch DGN. Like, there's going to be people who are trying to do that stuff. And I'm going to be a little upset if it does affect the actual live production, because I don't even know if they have an issue recording it live. Does it affect the like post round posting all like the 4-round video? I think it would affect
I don't know.
I think
it's going to affect a lot. I hope it doesn't affect coverage. Like, we're going to have bad quality. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot here that we're going to find out. And
I just wish they would have thought about it earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it would only affect live is what Gage is telling us, which makes sense. But still, though, I mean, the streaming quality and how big live disc golf is. I know I'm rarely watching post coverage nowadays. If I can watch it and have it on another screen or have it on at the brewery or something, like, I'm watching live coverage.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll see. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll jump into more thoughts on Worlds when we get there in a sec. But another big news thing happening here. Lone Star Discs cuts Chandler Kramer and Leah Sinogeni effective immediately.
No warning.
Gone.
Just cut.
We've seen players already leave and have contracts change. Vino, Kevin Jones, Chandler already left Lone Star, but didn't. I don't know how that situation was.
Yeah, he was just like a part of it. He's already throwing an open bag with a couple of different sponsors at this point.
But still, maybe had some money coming in from Lone Star in some way or something. I don't know.
And he had a van.
Yeah. So van's gone. He put a post up saying like, hey, the van was pretty much saying we needed to drop it off or whatever. He like left all of his stuff at like a family member's, like a relative's house or something. Like, it's chaos. It's chaos. The fact that you just do that. I don't know what's going on at Lone Star. I don't know anyone who's throwing a lot of their discs. I don't know if they spent too much on some players and they're having to do some cuts. I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird.
I mean, we know that since the boom in 2020, things have slowed down, right? Manufacturers are selling fewer discs in general.
Especially
and I feel
smaller
like
manufacturers.
I was going to say, I feel like it's these fringe manufacturers like Lone Star Discs, like any of these small name companies that like they're not getting a whole bunch of traction.
No.
And I imagine this is just to keep some cap space in a way, you know, just so that they're not hitting the red or hitting the black even. But this is not the way to go about it, man. Like, if you want people to support you, if you want fandom like they have at a lot of companies, you cannot make moves like this. This is something that makes people boycott you. This is something that makes people avoid your Frisbees because, oh, they're jerks. Oh, they treat their people poorly. I don't want to support. Half of the reason people buy discs is to support someone, right? Whether it's a company or whether it's an individual, it's a supportive thought. And if they're instantly turning people off, like, what is your end goal here? That's my question. It's like, what's the goal?
My question is this. The dog that's sponsored, does he still have a? I'm sorry. I couldn't get through it. Is the dog still getting Frisbees? Like, think of the pups. Did he make it? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on at Lone Star. Nico's line gone. There's not really like sales going on online, the Sacred Discs. There was also the whole thing with like he and Lone Star have a course they're doing with like a property. So people are talking and freaking out on Reddit. I need to get more on the Reddit, apparently. I don't need another social media thing to take over my life, but maybe I need to join some of that stuff just to see some of the chaos. But it's a lot of weird stuff going on at Lone Star. The vibe there hasn't been good for a while. Emerson Keith left unexpectedly when, I mean, we thought Emerson Keith wasn't going anywhere else for a long time. It just made
Texas
sense.
native and everything.
Sure.
Like,
we do have Texas native Connor O'Reilly, you know, joining it and loving it. And he's had an okay season, but like, he's not a big name. So it's like, I don't know what they're really doing. So I don't know. We'll see. We're definitely going to see how it plays out. If it's more cuts to come, if there's players that are now, I don't know, because the open bag doesn't really make sense for like that. If they go on like a partial, we'll see. I think there's more to come on that story for sure. Last thing in the news here, the 1050 club has doubled in size. Ricky Wysocki jumps 2 points up to 1051.
Yeah.
Gannon Burr moves a little bit further, 1053. We saw a European Open coming down to it between these two. Man, they're the best players in the world. They're the most consistent, and they're rightfully, I think sometimes we're like, is that guy the best? No, these two are the best. It's not a question right now with the way things are trending.
For sure. And this is Ricky's highest rating in 2 years. He hasn't been in the 1050 club since 2022, August 2022. So literally 2 years ago. I'm not surprised that they're the two up there. Like if you were to pick any two players at the beginning of a disc golf draft, these are the two players that are probably going to go first. I love that they're both kind of peaking right now too, that they already had a battle in Europe. I have a feeling that we'll see them battle a little bit at Worlds in Virginia. I'm honestly surprised there aren't more players, but I think, I don't know. I feel like some of the courses are getting harder because they have to, because people are just torching them. But if you had to pick, who's the next to make it up there? Who would you guess?
Let me glance at the world rankings. I don't even have those up right now. I mean, Calvin's heating up in the right direction. He's definitely not having the best time right now. As of August 7th, 2024, world rankings, I don't know about rating here, but Calvin is third in world rankings. And Calvin Isaac is up there as well. Too. Third in ratings. Where's Isaac at?
Isaac is tied for fifth with Matty Oram.
Yeah, I mean,
so they're not that far, but just like Drew said, sometimes
Matty O is still that high.
1044.
Goodness.
Crayola, Alabama represent.
That is actually crazy. I can't believe that.
He's a consistent player, man.
Yeah, that's true.
But those little points, like Drew said, once you get to 1,000, like getting to 1010 is crazy. Getting to 1020 has been nuts, right? And so like just a couple points is really quite a difficult feat. But I feel like
means
it's Calvin.
You're averaging 1050.
Yes, exactly.
That means you're hitting. I mean, Ricky makes sense with the way he played at the European Disc Golf Festival. So I mean, like that makes sense. I mean, he shot some of the best rounds of his life there. I mean, what was it? The third best round of all time?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be in the 1050 club, no doubt.
Yeah, that's sick.
So,
but it's got to be Calvin, right? Calvin, if Calvin plays well
at
Worlds and can finish the season hot,
man, does he not play well at Worlds? I feel like that's what
you're not wrong.
It's painful. We'll talk about it in a bit, but that's all the news here for now. If you got any other news, hit us up over at Parked Podcast on Instagram. Comment below here on DGA YouTube. Like and subscribe as well. We appreciate it. We see all the comments, all the things, and we want to hear from you guys. So should be good. All right, Zach, World Championships. We're here. It's been a long time. It doesn't feel like we should already be here. It's mid-August, almost late August now. The only 5-round tournament of the year, rightfully so. Yeah. And we're at a place we've never been to before. I don't even know, correct me if I'm wrong, has Virginia had an Elite Series in it yet? Is this the first Elite Series / major that Virginia's had? And to my knowledge, I don't know of one.
That is a good question.
It could
Gage, we might have to send you on that one.
Yeah. Send to producer Gage, get back to us. I don't know. I'm thinking no, maybe we're wrong. We're checking. All right. But man, we got 2 courses. We've talked about a lot on this podcast of how important it is, I think, ever since the World Championships in Utah, that we have a wooded course and an open course. It's just you see the switch, you see players that killed in the open. Oh, they played crap in the woods. Oh, they're back. Like we're going to see that in over 5 rounds. We're going to see those players that are consistent on both or make the least errors, slowly climb and stay up there. There's players that immediately come to mind on each style of course, you know, but the players that can do both, I don't know. It's a short list in my mind, and the longevity and endurance to play 5 straight rounds back to back to back to back to back days. So 2 courses here. We got New London Tech and Ivy Hill, or just New London. I guess they took out the Tech for the branding of it. But I know New London was a Paul McBeth design. I don't know about Ivy Hill. I don't know much about that. There hasn't been as much, hype on it. It may be more of a temp course. I truly don't know. I have the caddy book here, but Zach, what do you know about these courses and what's the kind of expectations?
Yeah, I mean, as always, the more rounds that you have to play, the better players are going to end up rising to the top by the end. Cream's going to rise. So I'm expecting to see some easy to pick players like Gannon Burr and Ricky. And I mean, I would love to say Calvin. He doesn't really perform great at Worlds, but
about it, man. I don't know.
But again, he's been playing well and he's trending in the right direction. And like I'm repping him. Like I rep the guy because I think he's got what it takes. And like when he's on, but he gets off and he doesn't show his frustration, but it gets under his skin. But I mean, you think about what tournaments we have where there is like that mix of woods and open, it actually does provide an opportunity for some people to just kind of sneak in.
Yeah.
Right. It's like whether one is your forte, you kind of like rock it on your forte and you kind of hold sturdy, maybe you're not leading the pack as far as hot round and like an open field, if that's not where you love to play but you're burning it up in the woods. Like this is a course where you get enough on each course where you can really make some strides and climb the leaderboard.
Yep.
But
we do have 3 rounds at Ivy Hill.
Okay, that's
2 rounds
the golf.
at New London. Yep, I'm looking at the schedule right now.
Okay.
So so that's, I don't know. I kind of wish that there was more in the woods, but for spectators, I get it.
Especially if the phone thing is happening at New London, like that's just going to be a nightmare. So yeah, man, I'm putting. It's those 2 guys. It's Ricky, it's Gannon that just kind of keep crawling back into my brain. I really would love a Robinson to get it. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot.
If it's a Robinson to get it, it's going to be Ezra. I think Ezra has the distance. I mean, dude, Isaac's got some sneaky distance, but I think Ezra has the distance. And I think Ezra, he's been bulking up. He's been been dropping weight, but also looking more fit. Like he's truly putting the work in. But I think we've said it again and again. It's going to take consistency. Yeah. And does Ezra Robinson have consistency over 5 rounds? I don't know. I really don't know. There's a reason why these players and why we see world champions rarely like Isaac winning worlds last year was just like, okay. But right behind Isaac last year was Anthony Barella, Eagle McMahon, and Matty O. Is Anthony Barella going to be able to come out of nowhere? He's had a little bit of a down slump, but he's won so many times this year.
And I talk about someone who shreds both sides of the course,
Is Eagle McMahon all of a sudden gonna freaking shred with MVP? What if Eagle wins worlds, dude? I mean,
oh my gosh,
awesome! He's like, I was holding out, but it's possible. But we look back at previous champions. I mean, the story is, Paul McBeth a lot of times, James Conrad the one-off. Then you got Barsby winning the one-off. Then you got Ricky
back to
back. Then you go Paul. So it's like when the world championships come, Paul McBeth and Ricky are in the conversation, no matter what.
Always.
And the way that Paul played in Europe, he knows these courses. He designed the course. He lives near here. You got to think McBeth's in the hunt. We're going to see him on lead card at least 2 out of 5 rounds. At least I'm calling it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That makes sense. With 5 rounds, yes. 2 is very reasonable, very doable. I did see that yesterday, the 12th, August 12th, was the 18-year anniversary of Ken Climo getting his 11th.
Wow.
Which happened in Augusta. That was at WR.
Yep.
And man, it's crazy to think that it's been that long, but just the history of worlds, like you have to think of Ken Climo.
Yeah.
Like there's no one else. There's literally no one else.
Sure.
it being over on the East Coast, I'd love it for him to make an appearance like he did at USDGC last year.
That'd be awesome. We'll see if he signed up. I don't think he has not signed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got to be there, or maybe he's doing commentary or something. I loved him on commentary, so
he was great.
Yeah, but looking at ratings here, dude, the Robinson brothers separated by 1.
Yes,
Ezra is down by 1 to the brother again. McBeth still at 1043, dude. He's still up there, and Matty O, still Matty O at 1044. Right. I feel like we haven't talked about Matty O much this season at all, but man, he could be a dark horse for sure. Same with Dickerson. Dickerson's 1045 now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think my podium, we'll go podium and MPO. We'll jump to FPO real quick.
Cool.
My podium here, I think Gannon Buhr wins Worlds. I just think he does it. He's been too so hot, good dude. Over that amount of time. He's young. He's got the consistency. He's a proven winner on the tour this year, and he's already won a major. You know how he's won 2 majors now. I mean, it makes sense to me that he would play these kind of courses well. And I think he's healthy. I think he's got all of the abilities to do it. So Gannon's my number 1. Number 2, God, I'm going to go Ezra Robinson.
Gets 2. Another second place.
I'm saying it's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit longer for the win, but I think he gets a podium at Worlds in second place. And in P3, I'm going to go Niklas. I'm going to go Niklas Antila. I think this course, these 2 courses feel very the beast and the monster to me, the way they're sized up. And I think putting a fin on there, I think Ricky's going to get close, but I think he's going to fall off a little bit.
I like that.
That's my top 3: Gannon, Ezra, and Niklas.
That's a really good top 3. Niklas, when I started looking on the leaderboard, I was like, or the chart, I'm like, yeah, this would suit him so well. But the only thing he knows it is like the distance on some of the golf courses can be a downfall for him sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't want Gannon to win, but if I'm like putting money on it, like I'm picking him. He's been so lucky. He's been so clutch.
Yep.
And like even when he gets frustrated, it just makes him better.
Yep.
So it's like when you think it's like getting under his skin.
He said many times in the interviews, he's like, I'm never out of it. He knows he's good enough. He knows he's the best in the world. And he knows even if he has one terrible round, all the other ones can make up for it. He's never out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do Gannon, Ricky. I'm going to do Gannon, Ricky, Kyle Klein.
Kyle Klein. Okay. Proven major winner.
Yes.
With US championships. He had a fire final round at Idlewild to finish.
Sure did.
Yeah, I like it.
I think those are decent choices.
Those are good. I like it. Honorable mention, top 5 honorable mention for me is Andrew Marweed. I think he's gonna. I don't know, top 5. I think he's gonna be at the top on the wooded courses, but I think if it was 3 rounds at New London, Marweed's in it. But I think he's gonna be right there, and yeah, it's gonna be close. I'd love to see Cole jump up as well. Out of nowhere pick in the top that will surprise everyone and have some hot rounds. Out of nowhere pick for me, Garrett Gurthie.
I like it, dude.
Yeah, I like
it.
Out of nowhere, he's heating up and trending in the right direction. It's at Worlds, we see these faces pop up out of nowhere. I think we're going to see a Garrett Gurthie he's going to be on camera. I won't say lead card, but I think he's going to be on camera.
I like that.
Who's your just out of nowhere pick that we're going to be surprised to see?
Dude, there are a couple people that I'm like, you could just go off real fast.
You could scroll for a while and be like, yeah, I could see that happening.
So many people. Okay, because it's happened a few times this season already. It's the golf course that keeps throwing me off.
I know.
I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say Luke Humphreys is way up there, like way higher than anyone would think.
Cool. I like that. I like that pick. I like it. All right, let's jump over to FPO here. Hit that ratings button a couple times. We got Kristen Tatar fell back to 998. Oh, is she even good anymore? I don't know. No, I think it'd be surprising if she didn't win 3 in a row. She's already won back-to-back. She's proven it. But I don't know, man. Like, is there as much consistency this year than there was last year? No.
Yeah.
She hasn't played as much. But she just got married. She's got that newlywed luck. They're going to be celebrating their honeymoon at in beautiful Lynchburg, Virginia. But I mean, she won European Open. She's already won it by only one stroke, I will say. So yeah, I think Kristen is still the pick. Although I don't know, man. I want to see. All right, podium. Let's just do it. Let's just go podium. The trending is here. I'm gonna go. Oh, I want to see Holland Hanley win Worlds.
Yes,
I want to see Holland Hanley do it. It's just the 5 rounds. Kristen just plays 5 rounds in a row better than anyone else.
Yeah,
she just does.
She's so consistent, and when she flops, she always gets up and turns it over.
Yep, I agree. Second place for me is going to be, I think, Kristen second. I'm going to give Holland the win, and I'm going to go Kristen second, and it's going to be close. And third, I'm going to go Silva Saarinen.
Very nice. I like that. Is Silva in?
Yeah.
Yes, I see her now.
Yep.
Good choices. Good choices. All right. I'm going to choose for FPO. I'm going to choose what I want to happen.
Okay. I like this. I like it.
I want Owen Scoggins to win world championships, baby.
Yeah. Has it been done? Has someone won Masters Worlds and regular Worlds? Has that been done before?
Not in like that
the modern
order.
era.
Not in that order.
True.
But I mean, Climo's done it. Feldberg's done it. Like, it's the big guys have done it. But I don't know about on the women's side. But yeah, she won
to win FPO World Championships at 40 something.
Dude,
that's pretty
cool
sick.
Would this be, right?
That'd be sweet.
She's playing great. She's playing great. I just don't know what this ball golf course looks like, which is why I'm like, if I'm putting money down, I don't think I would choose Owen. However, that's what I want. I want Owen to win. So she's my number 1. I put Kristen number 2. And honestly, dude, this is a wild pick. I think Evelina is number 3.
Yep. Evelina okay. Yeah, I like it. Jumping in the same thing we did with MPO, someone that's going to surprise us and could be in there. Evelina is my pick. If the putting's on, her tee to green is insane.
Yes.
And this is a course where I feel like the fins just rise to the top in these long technical courses. Look at Tampere. Like, we had a bunch of people just pop up. For me, the completely surprise pick that's just going to be like, what is she doing on camera? Oh, this is tough. This is tougher in the FPO, I feel like.
There's some good options, man.
There is. Do you know yours?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead.
I think I'm going to do Luke Lawrenson.
Okay, I like it.
Top 5 or something like that.
Okay. Surprise one. For me, I think I'm gonna go Paige Pierce. Go Paige Pierce. I think she has a little bit more distance than people realize, and I think she's consistent. She's a multi-time world champion, and I think similar to the MPO side, the players that have done it before know how to do it again. She hasn't had the most incredible season. Glancing at her thing here, I mean, but she had top 10 finishes. She had 6th place at Ledgestone, top 10 at European Open. So I mean, like, it's happening for sure. And I mean, dude, she freaking won Portland. No one expected that. That was an open course.
Yeah.
Who knows? We got 3 rounds at Ivy Hill. I think there could be some surprises there from Paige Pierce popping out of nowhere.
The best thing about sports in general, and this is always true in disc golf, is you never know what's going to happen. You just have no idea. You can't bet on it. I mean, you can, but there's no like, I'm going to bet my life on this, because anything can happen.
Yep.
And that's why Worlds is so fun, because literally anything can happen. You've got 5 rounds to prove it. You can claw your way back. And it's in a situation where it suits whoever wants to take it.
Yep, agreed. I will say, and people don't think about this, I'm thinking about it now because we've been looking at the PDGA page for a while. I want to have someone other than Isaac looking me straight in the face on the PDGA background. He's so intense. Kristen's like, I'm here, I'm smiley, like on the PDGA background page. But Isaac's, dude, and I know him, and he's scaring me right now.
He's got a little smirk, but he's like, it's like that smirk that's like, I'm going to kill you later.
Yeah. It's a little creepy. It's a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie. So I mean, that's the thing too. People don't talk about it. You win worlds, and you're on the homepage for a year.
That is true, man.
That's true. Last thing I'll say.
It's so exciting.
Do you think we have a first-time world champion in FPO or MPO? Do you think that's possible, or do you think we're guaranteed a repeat?
I think it's more possible. I think it's more possible in FPO.
In FPO, really? Yeah, I mean, we're over 3,000 days since
dude, that's true. I mean, think about it. Yeah. Ricky Gannon's never won worlds. Calvin's never won worlds. Chris never won worlds. Mm-hmm. It's like Paul's the only one really.
There's a lot of those guys that are at the top are major winners. I mean, think about Dickerson. All those guys you just mentioned at the top are major winners. They just have not won worlds in a while. And a couple of us have never won worlds. But
I hope I didn't just say Ricky's never won worlds because
no, he has won worlds.
That's wrong. He's won twice. I think it can absolutely happen. Mm-hmm. Either way. I don't think Missy's gonna get it. I don't know why. Her game just hasn't looked very clean. Mm-hmm. But she's not a world champion, is she?
Nope. She won US women's.
So who are we looking at here who has won in FPO? Is it just Kristen and then Kristen, Owen as a Masters?
Kristen, Katrina, which I doubt Katrina's playing. Paige Pierce, Bierkus, Pierce, Valerie Jenkins. I mean, that's going back 8 years.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting one. Last thing here, guessing winning score. 5 rounds.
Oh, boy.
I have them in front of me. I'll give this to you. It's pretty wild, actually. In 2023, so the last 2 years, the winning score in MPO was minus 46, both times. Over 5 rounds.
Interesting.
Also, in 2018 and 2017, the winning score was minus 41. So pretty interesting to see, but around that 40-ish mark. I'm going to go with winning score is going to be minus 43 for the MPO side. For the FPO side, the winning score is going to be minus 29.
Okay.
43, 29. That's my guess.
43 and 21. Yeah. So I was thinking MPO would have to average around 9 down. So I'm going to go with 45.
Okay.
45. So not far from you. Mm-hmm. Gosh, man, FPO
is a wild card, dude.
Dude, it's years wild.
It's weird. I mean, you got the +6 out of nowhere a couple years ago that won. I just don't know how hard these courses are.
I don't know these courses at all.
No one does. That's what I think this world is like. One of the weirdest worlds is because no one knows.
No one's seen it. Dude, I'll say ladies are gonna have to average at least 7. That puts me right where you're at.
35.
That's 35. So that's higher. I'm gonna go 32.
32. Okay, I like it. We'll check back on these. I do. We say we check back, but we actually will check back on these for sure. Heading into the recap. So, all right, World Championships, man, August 21st to the 25th, about a week and a half away, a little over a week away, which is going to be fun to have it on a Wednesday. I like that. I like having 5 rounds. It's a lot of disc golf. Yeah. Man, it's gonna be great. So looking forward to it. World Championships on courses we've never seen, and there has never been an Elite Series event in Virginia. So congrats to Virginia taking it. It's going to be a fun time. Looking forward to it. And just having no knowledge, no course records. We could see course records being beat over and over again. Yeah. Players that we didn't expect. World Championships. It's anyone's game. It's weird. I think it should be a point series. That's for another time. But World Championships, anyone's game. It's going to be a good one. So here we go.
Do you know the structure? Is it course A, course B, A, B?
It is. Add it up. It is New London, Ivy Hill, New London, Ivy Hill,
Ivy Hill. So 2 in the last day. Okay. I was just curious.
Indeed. So we shall see.
Gosh, man. But this is like the most exciting time of the year.
It's the best. It's the best.
So cool.
So it's going to be good, man. Well, appreciate it. If you've made it this far in the Park Podcast, thank you. We love you.
You're the truth.
You are the truth. Yeah, you're a truther. That's Drake and Josh? Are you calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther. I don't know why that came to my mind. You're welcome.
Silly, man.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Man, what a freaking time it's going to be these next couple days in the World Championships. For us here at Park Podcast, I'm Mitch Phillips. Mr. Zach Harrison, sign us off, buddy.
Peace, love, and disc golf, y'all.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.